Hey there YouTube, it's Marvin here again. Welcome to my channel RUV. Today I have another mining video that I wanted to share with you. I am rebuilding my first and only rig that I built about 2 years ago. And the reason why I'm rebuilding it because I wanna use single power supply instead of two. And that said, let me show you what I have. Alright, so what I have here is the frame. This is an aluminum frame. I bought this from Parallel Miner. Also that motherboard also from Parallel Miner, and the server power supply, and risers. And this one I bought this recently from Parallel Miner. Let's talk about that a bit later. Just want to show you everything I have: the cable, the 24 pins cable, and the 8 pins cable, and the OEM CPU cooler, DDR3 memory. This is socket 1150. That is, show you the motherboard. The model is H81 Pro BTCR 2.0, and I purchased this motherboard together with the frame, this stuff here, the breakout board, and my old risers, and the power supply. And here I just bought this from Amazon. This is the fan that I'm gonna use right now. That's the brand upHere. And let me go back here. This is my new risers, and it comes with the riser adapter board and cable, and those are my cables that I'm gonna be using, and some zip ties for cable management later, and of course my tools. And let's go back here. So these risers, these are new. I also bought it from Amazon, and let me just show you the comparison. The old one that I bought from Parallel Miner like about 2 years ago. So there's not much difference aside from, as you can see, this one here, there's an input for the 6 pins, and there's also an output that you can use it to power your the GPUs. Unlike this one, it doesn't have, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna use that, but I will try, I guess. So that said, I'm not gonna be using this one. And the breakout board, this is also, as I said, this is also from Parallel Miner. And the reason why, by the way, this is the CPU that I'm gonna be using, Celeron G1840 2.8 gigahertz. The reason why, and that's another reason why that I'm rebuilding this, because I used to use there's two here, the breakout board and the server power supply, plus I have to use this for the 24 pins to supply the 24 pins of the motherboard. Now, as you can see here, the ZSX breakout board, it comes with it has 24 pins, and look at how many fan connectors that it has, and the 6 pins connector. It has like, what's that, 3, 7 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It has 16 6 pins connector, and it has Molex connector as well. Anyway, yeah, I want to talk about the differences of the breakout boards. I have 3 different breakout boards on my in my next video. So, all right. So, what else? Of course, I think I already mentioned this, the memory, and I think this is a 60 gigabyte external SSD, and I already have like Hive OS in that SSD because I've been running this with 6 cards with the Hive OS. And these are the GPUs that I'm going to use. Like I have 6 of them. That's a 1070 Ti and two 1060 6 GB and three 1070 8 GB. Sorry guys, I don't have, I don't have those expensive like powerful GPUs like 3070 3080. The only GPU that I have that is a bit expensive is like I have three 3060 that I'm running with the nice hash. Yeah, so since I'm rebuilding the rig, so I just thought that I rebuilt it from scratch so that I can share with you guys, and for the people who never built a PC before, so this will probably help them as a guide. And basically it's just like, this is like almost like building a gaming PC, aside from, you have to deal with all those wires, but otherwise they're almost, the procedure is almost the same. So since we don't need this stuff, I have to put it away, and let's start putting the CPU, memory, and cooling fan on the motherboard. Or by the way, I already like installed this standoff for motherboards. So let me just show you guys. Oops, I put it wrong way, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, so the motherboard is gonna sit like that. But before that, I wanted to install the memory, CPU, and other stuff. Okay, let's. All right, so let me put this stuff away that we don't need and start building it. All right, so let's start installing the CPU. You have to do here is just to press that down, and then pull it sideways to release the lock. And don't worry about the plastic cover, it will come up later. And by the way, never ever touch the pins of the socket. And let's say if you get some dirt in there, just try to remove it by just doing that, or just if you have like a compressed air like in the can, just spray it. But make sure not to touch the pins because they can get easily bent. Don't use a like a powerful compressor, like a big compressor, to clean it. It's just like the can compress air. And to install the CPU, also not to touch the contacts there, especially if your hand is so oily. And the best way to work with the like computer parts is you're supposed to have a anti-static mat, which I don't have it right now, so that's why I use that thing. So to install the CPU, as you can see, there's 2 notch on both sides, and then right there's a guide. So you just basically just have to drop it in, and then just make sure that it's sitting properly, and then put it down, goes on that screw, and then press it down, and you can see the cover pops off, and then slide it under, and there you go, it's CPU installed. Alright, so let's put the thermal grease. Let me show you this one here first. So this one is just like the typical OEM cooler. The aftermarket one, or just the other CPU cooler, it has the plate that you can, something like this, that you can stick it at the bottom here underneath with it comes with double-sided tape. You just have to stick that, and then it has a screw. Instead of this plastic lock, it has a screw to lock the CPU cooler in place. Anyway, so to get this one ready, as you can see, it's the plastic part, the black one there. You have to pull it back and then just turn it clockwise, all of them clockwise. As you can see, that black plastic is like it goes inside. That's when you push that, that's the thing gonna lock the CPU cooler on the board. So just pull that back and then turn it clockwise. All right. So before you install the CPU cooler, make sure to apply a thermal grease. When applying thermal grease, I mean thermal paste, whatever you call it, you don't have to put too much, it's just enough. It's a bit. This is also a good idea to spread them around the surface of the CPU, but in my case I don't do that. I just let the heatsink to do that for me when I press it in. And what it does is just like, this is like bonding the surface of the heatsink and the CPU together so that the heat from the CPU will transfer properly to the heatsink. So, okay, so since the, I don't know if you can see that, okay, yeah. So since the connector of the fan is right here, so make sure that you installed it properly, that the wire can reach the fan header. So while pushing it down, you're holding this one, don't push this one yet. Okay, you're holding that steady, and then just push from here. And as you can see, all the white plastic part is in, and now it's the time for you to push this one down. You can hear the click once it locks. Then make sure, oh, this one is not, okay, make sure that they are all turned to like clockwise. And just to make sure, you can see all the, I don't know if you can see that, but all the black plastic that it locks the CPU cooler is all the way down. It's right there. And when you hold that, it's safe to hold it from here when holding the motherboard. Alright, the CPU and the cooler is installed. Now plug in the see right here, it says CPU fan 2, and then power fan. I think this one is for the, if you want to add like a case fan. But if you only have one CPU fan cooler, you always plug it into the to the number one. All right. If you have a second one, of course you have to plug it into the second one, the CPU fan 2. Trying to put the wire away, just kind of wire management a little bit. Alright, so the next thing is the memory. To install the memory, just to put this down, both sides. Some of the memory slot has only one side that has the lock, you can release the lock. The other end is like fixed, but this one has both. So push that down. And then the same thing, don't touch the pins of the memory, just avoid touching it. And then you can see the notch, one side is shorter and the other side is longer. The same on the CPU, memory socket. So to install it, just try to make it even and then push it down until you hear the click. On both ends, you push it down. There you go, hear that click. Another one. There you go, and then just make sure that the lock is properly in. Alright, so CPU, memory are installed. Next we're going to install it on the frame. Let's put it away. Well, the other things that I forgot to mention is when you buy the riser board, it comes with this like a cheap foam, like insulation, like a spacer or whatever you call that, so that it won't touch the metal part of the aluminum part, so that it won't short the pins. So I kind of don't like this because when you put the screw, it just like break easily and it's so thin. And look at how sharp is that pins there. If some riser board has like longer pins, can just it can poke the hole and go through. So what I did is I removed that with my new risers. I removed that and then I used the felt board as an insulation. I cut that, and since that the felt board is thicker than this foam, so I have to do some adjustment. As you can see, it's right there. I adjust it a little bit up so that it will accommodate the height of the GPU bracket. As you can see, the felt board is thicker, but it's more safer. And because of that, I drill a hole and put a screw on both sides, just so that this one for sure is not gonna comes off if I accidentally lift the whole rig from holding it right here. Alright, so so far I don't see any static generating from the felt board, unlike the regular carpet. It's generate like lots of static. So but let me know, guys, what do you think of the felt board. So far it's so good for me. I've been using it with the riserless motherboard. This has been good. Alright, it's time to install the motherboard. Yes, put all the screws on tight, just in case you need to align the motherboard. For some reason they're not perfect though. Pre-drilled holes on the frame is not properly. Sometimes they're not like perfect. Okay, this is the last screw, so I have to tighten that one now. It's a hand tight. Alright, motherboard installed. Scratch that. Okay, what's next? Okay, I think we can install the risers next. Install the risers. Okay, so before that, I just want to show you guys how to install the riser adapter board properly. I don't know if you can see that. If you can see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 of the small PCI, and then the full-size PCIe. So when you're installing that on the small one, you won't make a mistake because it will only go one way, like that. You cannot install it that way. But on the big one, the full-size one, which is like exactly the same as in the riser board, if you don't know what you're doing, you could install it the other way around because it still goes in like that. Let's see if you can see that. So make sure that you are installing this like empty part here is gonna be the front, like that. And if you compare it with this is the GPU, you compare it, as you can see, there's a slot right here, and that's a little extra part of the board, so that how exactly it looks like. It's right there. All right, let's start installing the risers. Let me just adjust the camera. Not exactly the camera, it's my cell phone. I don't have expensive cameras. Alright, I think that's good enough. And all my screws right here. Right, so the USB part is gonna be at the back part, and this is the front. Front is this one, this is the back. Okay, just want to check if they are all aligned. Yeah, seems good. Alright, the risers installed. You can see all the risers installed. And what's next? Alright, I guess let's install the power supply. So the power supply I'm using is the server power supply, 1200 watts. And I am just using a double-sided tape right there to hold them in place. And ZSX motherboard, ZSX breakout board, I mean. So to do that, this the breakout board just gonna with the server power supply is just gonna be plugged in right there. So as you can see, that's how you plug it in. Okay, it can also go the other way, so be careful not to plug it in like that, right? So the board is at the bottom, see that at the bottom, and this is facing up. So it's like right there, the board is facing up, and then the board from the server power supply is at the bottom. It's gonna be like that. And make sure that the breakout board is plugged in properly to the power supply is plugged in all the way properly to the breakout board. Alright, as you can see, the double-sided tape that I use is very strong. As you can see, it's lifting the frame, but of course you don't want to hold it there. But the reason why I do that, it's very easy to remove. If I want to, I'm just gonna kind of yank it and then I can remove it. Alright, so that is installed. Hopefully that stays. Yeah, I think it will stay. Right, so what's next? I guess I think you should install the USB cable and the riser adapters. I mean the PCIe adapters. Alright, so let's change the camera angle. Alright, so remember that this part here is gonna go at the front. So let's plug it in, just like that. Okay, just double check that they all plug in. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, next thing is cable. I mean the USB cable. So the USB cable, doesn't matter which end you want to plug into the PCIe board, the small board, and the riser board. They're all just the same. Right, since I already have did some wire management there, already have zip ties in it. So how should we do this? Maybe 3 on that side and a 3 on that side. So let me just Let's plug it in there. Yeah, so just try to do the orientation of the wire so that you'll know which slot is going. Okay, the second one, second PCIe, and the second. And the third one is right there. And same thing here. Yep, just make sure that they are all plugged in properly. And the second one here. And the third, the fourth one. All right, USB cable plug in, just double check. Yeah, well, once everything's done, before you plug it, before you turn it on, of course you have to double check all the connection. If it's like all the connectors, if it's plugged in properly before you powered it on. That is the one thing that I don't like with the typical mining rig, because there's lots of wires. Unlike the, you know, like the riserless motherboard is just like straightforward, just plug it in, right? So, all right, so what's next? All right. Just want to show you guys the same thing. This wire here is like 6 pins to 8 pins. The other 2 pins right here. I just tied it down there because I don't need it. This is the riser board using 6 pins, and then the breakout board is like also 6 pins. So again, it doesn't matter. You can plug this end here to the power supply or to PCIe, or you can use the other end, doesn't matter. But I just usually use the 6 pins alone to the breakout board, and then this one goes to the riser board. Sorry guys, I only have my cell phone. So let's adjust this just so you guys can see it properly. All right, so because we only need 6 pins connector out of the breakout board right now, so I'm just trying to spread them out like evenly. So let's see where we're gonna get it, like 6. Where's the lock for that? The other way. Maybe I just leave that empty so that I can see the digital readout clearly. Alright, all the wires plug in. Yeah, by the way, the ZSX breakout board has a digital display for the voltage. I think this is the voltage and then the current. The parallel miner, they said it's not really accurate, but the current here is the DC. This is like only the current that your GPU are using. The total current that you want to see is like, you know, if it's from the wall, like for the whole system. So if you want to see that, you need to have a power meter separately that is plugged into the wall, and then your rig is plugged into that power meter. Alright, so what's next is okay, before we forget, the 24 pins for the motherboard. That's what's next. Okay, right now I'm holding my cell phone because it's gonna be hard to see. So this is the wire, the 24 pins wire. So this one goes to the breakout board and this one goes to the motherboard, and 8 pins to the motherboard. So let's plug it in. Oops, I dropped screws there. I should have plugged it in first, but there you go, it clicks. That's a lock. And this is the 24 pins to the motherboard. And that's clicks as well. And that's the 8 pins. If you can see that properly. And the 8 pins goes there. There you go. Okay, 24 pins, 8 pins connected, and this thing connected. They're all plugged in, and then, all right, what's next? So I am thinking just to, because my riser has the output 6 pins, I am thinking to get the supply for the GPU to power the GPU from here. Let's see how it's gonna look like with those wires. Let's put back my cell phone to the tripod. Alright, so Yeah, so the cable is just the same as this cable. This one is longer, this one is shorter, but they are the same, like 6 pins to 8 pins. So if I'm gonna get the power from the power board, it's not gonna be long enough to reach the first GPU here. So I think I'm gonna get the power from here, from the riser board, to power my GPU. Oops. Yep, it's not long enough to reach that, so we have no choice. We have to get it from here. Okay, let's install the GPU one by one right now. So the riser board has a GPU lock, so you just have to slide it out. So let's open. Let's try now. So this time you're gonna use the 6 pins end of the cable gonna go to the riser, and then the 8 pins is going to the GPU, because the GPU has like 8 pins connector. So let's see how it's gonna look like that. Just gonna have like so all the GPUs installed. As you can see, so I powered my GPU from the output of a riser board. So it goes here. And also don't forget to lock the GPU to slide this forward. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, next thing I guess is to install the fans. Oh, now it's heavy. Now it's real heavy. that is. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I have someone on the front door. I'm gonna pause the video first and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for interruption, but I was able to fix the tire of the car of my neighbor, so that's a good thing. So you can see at the top right there, I took
Alright guys, so
video clips on it.
yeah, my neighbor, my friend David knocked on my door, and as you can see he has like a screw in his tire, so I have to fix it now. If I fix it first before I can continue my video,
that is delicious.
and let's get into it.
Okay, let's go back to this.
Pull it out.
Where was I was installing this fan.
Pull it out. We have to. Do you have a bigger than this?
Oh yeah.
Or maybe this can. Wow, these are long screws.
There you go. There you go, guys. You can see that the screw from his tire. Now it's leaking air. If you guys can hear that. Okay, the fans that I have is it has a Molex connector and the fan header connector, which that's one I'm gonna use. So it's
Now we have to clean it.
yes.
Because it's forward a little bit. Yeah. So that's the problem. It's very
All
slow.
the fans plug in.
Forward, right?
Yeah, forward. Just a bit, like probably an inch. Okay, slowly. Up a little bit more. Oh, that's it, that's it, that's it.
Make a hole. Yeah, I do. Let me try again.
No, it's okay, it's soft now.
Yeah, soft.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these ones here. Just gonna tidy it up later. Alright, all the fans plug in, and
I into this one.
I think that's pretty much it, and then we have to do some wire management. And as I said, I'm gonna use this so I think this is 60 gigabyte external SSD, which has Hive OS on it already. Let's see what's next. Anyway guys, I apologize, I'm really sorry, because since I'm just rebuilding this rig, which I already know that everything was working before, I kind of skipped the important part of building a rig, which is like, you know, to test the motherboard first. Yeah, so like after you install the CPU, RAM, and power supply, you should always test the motherboard first if it's working before installing all the GPUs, which that's what we're gonna do right now. I grabbed myself a monitor just to see if the motherboard is working fine, even though I just rebuilt it. But as I said, I'm using like a single power supply right now, so I should have done that as well, which I'm gonna do right now. Yeah, so luckily that the power for all the GPUs is just coming from a riser board. So to test the motherboard right now, what I'm gonna do is just gonna unplug this 6 pins, all the 6 pins wire that is supplying the PC riser board. So that's gonna cut off the riser board and GPU power. So let's do that right now so that we can test the motherboard first if it's running.
If it's too hard, let's
And
put some air, because now it's no more air.
I can show you guys the BIOS of the motherboard as well. I pretty much like set the BIOS
It
up,
looks like fixed now. It's right there.
the settings there. So okay, that's everything is disconnected, unplugged. The only left is the 24 pins, and then that's also the 8 pins is also coming from there. And yeah, the CPU, it's hard to see right now, but the CPU and RAM already in. Okay, let's try that on. Okay, I got my monitor, and I unplug all the power for the PCIe and the riser board and the GPU, just to try the motherboard if the motherboard is gonna work. So I got the monitor connected to HDMI, got a keyboard right here, and let's try to plug it in. Right, the power board, the server power supply turns on. Let's turn on the breakout board. You guys cannot see that. There. Alright, the fan turns on, and there you go, the motherboard turned on too. See if you guys can see and yeah, as you can see, all the GPUs are not running because there's no power into it. Let's see, just that I can show you the BIOS. And oh, by the way, here I already set previously I have set the BIOS to automatically powers on when it detects the power from the power supply. So okay, let's just let's navigate to the BIOS a little bit just to show you guys how the BIOS look like. And right now, let's go like this is the main. We don't have to touch that. Also tweaker, blah blah blah. As you can see, the memory is DDR3, 1333 megahertz speed. And let's go to, there's nothing that we can change here. OC tweaker, CPU catch. I don't think we have to change anything here as well. Okay, let's press escape. Oh no, just escape again. Let's go to advanced. I think here this is where you're gonna change few things. Let's see CPU configuration and blah blah blah. We don't have to change anything there. And we also, okay, this is the restore on AC power loss. Let's see if you can see. Okay, you can see that. Okay, let's move the camera closer. Sorry about that. Okay, that's better. So as I said, I already set that to power on. It was, the default was power off. So I set that to power on in case, you know, like the there's a power out and the power comes on, the motherboard will just turn on automatically and you're gonna start mining again. And good night LED. I just leave that to auto. I just if it has LED, I just like to see LEDs on my rig. You know, it's just everything you have to turn it off. This one we don't need it, so just disable that. The HDMI HD audio disable. Onboard LAN for sure that's enabled, because if you want to use LAN cable. And what else? Onboard HD audio. I don't think we need that as well, so let's just turn it off. Okay, the deep sleep, that's disabled. Don't turn that on. Share memory. Yeah, the PCIe 2 link speed, I just leave that to auto. You can set it Gen 1, Gen 2, but I just leave it on auto. It works fine for me. And what else? Okay, that's escape. Storage configuration, SATA mode selection. Yeah, of course the SATA is HCI. Power link disable, hard disk mount disable. We don't touch that. Alright, escape. Technology, what is that there? Technology. We don't touch that. Super IO configuration. Let's see what do we have here. Change setting, blah blah blah. And it seems like we don't have anything to change here. Yeah, guys, if in case like anything that I miss, you know, like just leave it in the comments below. I would really love to know what I miss, and you know, like I like to learn as well from you guys. This configuration, storing power on, and USB configuration. What is that? There, legacy support. Legacy support, of course, enable, because I'm gonna boot it to Linux based Hive OS through USB. And what else there? I think that's it for the advanced. Let's see what we can change on the tools. Okay, under the tool tab, we have EC drive installer update, or the update utility. That's if you want to update the UEFI. So I usually just use this one here, if but you have to be connected to the LAN cable. Once you press enter, it will try to connect to the internet, but right now we don't have LAN connection because I'm gonna use a wireless USB. And yeah, it will try to establish internet connection, but as you can see we don't have that. So yeah, but just in case you want to update that, make sure that you have a LAN connection, and then just click enter that and click OK. It's quick. It's gonna be connect. It's going to connect to ASRock server and get the updates. And if I remember correctly, it was like few seconds is done. Anyway, let's proceed. Escape. Okay, what else? I think that is it. Let's go back to again. Super IO again. Enable. Just trying to check if I missed something. Enable, disabled, blah blah blah. Primary adapter. Oh, that's the other thing. I like to set mine primary graphics adapter to onboard one, so that even though even though I don't have GPU connected right now, I'm using the graphics from the CPU. So that's what you have to set there. Otherwise, you have to set the PCI Express if you want to use one of the GPUs. Anyway, that's onboard. And speed auto again. Yep. So see again here. CPU state support, auto. I think that's pretty much it for the BIOS setup. If, as I said, if in case I miss anything, let me know, guys. Okay, we'll just gonna hit escape and then discard changes. No, discard. We have to save it. I think to save it is F10. Yeah, yes, F10 to save it, and then press yes, of course. That's on a yes now, and then enter. So that's gonna save all the settings that we made in the BIOS. All right, so it's time for us to connect. Probably we're just gonna start connecting one GPU first, just to make sure that it's gonna work, and then we'll connect all of the rest of the GPUs. Okay, let's turn the system off and then connect one GPU. All the USB are connected properly, plug in properly. So I connected the first GPU. Let's turn it on again. Actually, yeah, I connected the second GPU, actually, not the first one. I'm gonna show you guys. So this turns on, and oops, as you can see, the second GPU, the fan is running. This one is not running, that is running. So all right, so that is running with one GPU. Now we're gonna try to boot it to USB, and I'm gonna use the TP-Link. This this USB Wi-Fi is compatible with Hive OS. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I bought it from Amazon, so that if you guys want to use the same Wi-Fi, this is like proof. I mean, it's already confirmed. I'm using it that it's compatible with Hive OS. Not all the Wi-Fi USB is compatible with Hive OS. So anyway, let's turn it off again. All right, plugging in the external SSD into the blue one. That's the 3.0 SB. Just gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna plug in my Wi-Fi adapter. Plug me. And plug back in my keyboard, which I don't really need a keyboard, I think, right now. So let's plug in. Let's turn it on, and as I mentioned earlier, that there's already Hive OS on my external SSD, because I've been running this before I rebuild it. So let's turn it on. Let's see if it will boot to USB. There you go. As you can see, let's put the camera closer. It's booting to Hive OS. And it should be connected to my Wi-Fi right away, because I already entered my SSID and the password. Otherwise, if that's the first time that you could use Wi-Fi, it will prompt you to enter your password, and I select the network. There you have it. It's, see, as you can see, that's from the tripod. See right there, 1066 GB. You can see that. And it should start mining. Well, there's nothing to see on the screen actually with Hive OS. All the controls that you have in the Hive OS apps. So let's just wait a little bit if it's what's gonna happen there. Right now I cannot check my Hive OS apps, because I'm using the same cell phone as I'm recording right now. There you go. As you can see, let's see. Oh, it's not that good. See, I am mining, the algorithm is Cowpaw, and it's showing their T-Rex. I'm using 2 miners. And there you go, it's the 1060 start mining. Alright, so I'm gonna shut it down again and then connect all the rest of the GPU. I'm gonna plug in all the power for the riser board and the GPUs. Alright, so all the GPUs are connected. Let's plug this in. Power the breakout board. all the GPUs are running. Okay, it's booting to Hive OS again. Right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am missing one GPU. Supposed to be 6. That, let's see that. As you can see here, it's only showing 5 1070, one 1070 Ti 1060. I have two 1070 Ti actually, and I have two. Yeah, so it shows there are two 1060. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's only showing 5 right now. That means that I have to check all my connection. Probably one of the GPU is not plug in properly. So I have to double check that. Let's see now. Let's wait for a bit. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's only 5s. So this is supposed to be from 0 to 5. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the hash rate they're showing 57.96 mega hash per second. And I am missing one GPU. So now it's start mining. As you can hear, the server power supply is gonna be really loud, but it's gonna be a little bit. That's right now is just like start kicking in, so like it's really loud, and then it's gonna be a little bit lower later. But I have to turn it on, turn it off right now, shut it down right now, because I have to check one. What is there was one of my GPU is not showing, so I don't know why. Let's it's gonna double check all the connection if I plug it in properly. Yeah, so as I said, this is server power supply is gonna be very loud, so it's not, this mining rig is not really designed to put in your bedroom or inside your house. So it's, anyway, let's check all my connection. Let's shut it down and check all my connection. And this is the good thing with the Hive OS as well, Linux based, because you can just shut it down anytime without screwing up the drivers. Unlike if you're using Windows, like you force it to shut down, it, maybe some problem can occur, especially with the drivers of the GPU card. Anyway, let's shut it down. And alright, so I check all the connection here. They are plugged in properly, and the reason why one of the GPU is missing, don't know if you can see that, the last PCIe adapter board, which is this one, is what it wasn't plugged in properly. I wasn't like pushed all the way down, so hopefully that's fixed the problem. And that's that's what I'm saying, like that's why I like the riser-less motherboard, because like less wires, less like thing to plug is like less trouble. So this one is like you touch, is like if you move it a little bit, it could lose the connection because it's just really loose. There's nothing holding into it. It's just like all plug in like that. So see, look at that. So that's why I love riserless. But Okay, let's try this again. Breakout board, power's on, LED fans on. I love this LED, the green light. This is I think I bought it like $28 from Amazon. 3 of them, 25 or 28, I can't exactly remember. It's not really a powerful fan, but I think it's good enough. It's helped cooling, circulating the air. I was thinking to put it closer. I can put like a mounting here a bit closer to the GPU. Alright, I'll see about that. Okay, let's see. Hopefully we can see the 6 GPUs now. Let's see how many. Okay, let's get it closer. It's better. Okay, how many do we have there? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. We have 6 GPUs. Like 0, 1, 2. Oh, it's hard to see right now. It's blurred. But as you can see, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a total of 6 GPUs. So okay, let's wait until the rig start mining. You can tell when it start mining because that the server power supply is gonna start whining as well. The rig will mine. The server power supply will whine. There you go. It's starting to whine. And as you can see, all the GPUs are running. All the LED on the riser boards are lit. Wow, that's pretty loud. I don't know if there's a way to make this server power supply quieter. Probably change the fan. If you guys know something about that, let me know. I would really love to make this power supply a bit quieter. Alright, so that it means that it starts mining. You can see here Cowpow. And I am mining Raven coin right now, and the hash rate is like about half compared to mining Ethereum. As you can see here, 1070 is like 12 mega hash per second. Other 1070 is 11, 10. The TI is like, oh wow. I wish I can show you guys my overclock settings right now, but I don't have another computer. I think that if you guys want to see that, I'm gonna make another video about that. You can see there's like T-Rex 2 miners. So now it's and the wattage is like either 109 watts, 110, 110, 100 watts. Yeah, I think I set my wattage to maximum like 110, if I remember correctly. Alright, so the rig is working. So let's do the let me do the let's shut it down, and then I will do some a little bit of wire management, and then I think that's gonna be the final episode of this video. Alright, so I'll shut it down right now. Okay, that's it. I've done the wire management, and yep, let me show you how it looks like. Okay guys, I think that is it for this mining rig. My next video is gonna be, I'm gonna make a frame for my riser less. This one here, the BTC-S37, and I have another one here. I can't remember the model of this. I think it's B85-BTC. This one doesn't have a built-in CPU, and it supports a 4th generation CPU. So I'm gonna make a frame for these two motherboards, and I'm gonna use the same material, the aluminum railings that I've been using, but this time I'm gonna copy the design of the other YouTubers. His name is YouTube name is Purecaneshot, and yeah, he made a very cool design for his BTC T37 motherboard. He has like a flip mounting for the fan. I'm gonna put his the link of one of his video in the description, and then you guys can check out his channel. And then he has lots of he's done lots of pretty cool things in his garage. He even have a mining rig inside a cabinet, and then he install an exhaust fan for that. And yeah, so check his channel out, and probably subscribe to him. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye bye.